Okay, I'm hoping I'm here and that I took the right thing off the air. I got so many different things going here. A lot of tabs are open. I've been really busy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world debut of my bokeh infused camera view. So the soft blurred background. I've got a Sony A6400 here. Okay, Harry's music room. I've been waiting for this one. Well, Harry was, you better like the Beatles, man. I know you do. But yeah, we're all Beatles here. So we're going with the A6400 Sony as the main camera, but I've got to back up with an eMeet S800. So if this thing shuts down for any reason, don't run away. We're going to be okay. Um, so Mark Morris has launched the Beatles tag this year, and I couldn't be happier. He's a super nice guy, and he's got a great channel. I just finished watching. Big shout out coming up right here to Tokyo Record Style. That's Brian. He did a great job on his. He's funny. I like Brian quite a bit actually, and he's he's an interesting guy. He's cerebral and he's introspective, and so if you like India gurus and all that sort of thing, Brian might be your cup of tea. He's pretty darn good. Uh, Harry goes, I mentioned you in my Beatles tag. Well, holy smokes, Harry, now I got to watch you. I'll put you in as a Beatles channel along with Mazzy. But anyway, hopefully I got everything. Actually, I don't have everything here. I've got to get my lovely assistant. Can you bring that big box? I forgot all about it. I had it out. But then we went and cleaned everything up. That's Goosey.
I'm in my apron.
Yeah, but guess what? You're all beautifully bokeh blurred.
Oh, good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a little different. As a Beatles tag, just anywhere down, right down there. I wouldn't do that. Well, okay, you're asking for trouble. Just put it right down there, love.
Okay.
She's great, ain't it? Young talent. Young talent. Thank you, Scozy.
Intern.
Anyway, so settle in. We're going to be here for a while. It's going to be different. It's a live stream experience. I'm running the camera, like I said. I don't know how long it's going to go. So sit back. It is going to be more of a observatory experience for my audience. Normally, it's a lot of interaction with different people coming up and all that sort of thing. But for Mark's tag, it's a lot of show and tell. So settle in, grab a cup of coffee, and we'll have some fun with this. And I like the questions, and I really went to town on them. And I guess without, saying too much or doing too much else, I'm going to share a picture just to Mark. I've got a link, hopefully in the description of this video. That'll work. But there's Mark himself holding up a beautiful mega blocks Beatles Ed Sullivan show with those big white arrows and all the rest of it. So that's our host for this particular tag, the Beatles tag. There he is up there, looking magnificent. Mark, looking happy with your Beatles toy there. All right, let's get into the questions that he's got for us. I hope the mic's coming through and the picture holds steady, and we're going to be all right here. Okay, there are 10 questions with 5 bonus questions. I'm going to do all 5 bonus. This ain't Tommy's holiday camp. We're going to give it our all. Show and talk about your favorite Beatle acquisition of 2025. It can be a record, a collector's item, a Beatles product, or, whatever. Beatles related. That's all you need. Beatles related. So in December, late, just towards the end of the year, there's a fella here. I'm in Nanaimo, British Columbia, Canada, and I've been really busy on Marketplace, selling things, buying things, and these came up on Marketplace. Just love them. And these are things I owned in the 1970s. I owned a handful, and once again, it seems I own a handful of them. They are the fan club Beatles book collection. Look at that. There it is, the Beatles book, number 3, Beatles book monthly. Look at that. That dates from October 1963. And if you look at the back, price 1 shilling and 6 pence. Ladies and gentlemen, that tells you that this is an original printing of this magazine. It's the first printing of it. It's not a reissue. And they're very dated. They're very nostalgic. And, and the Fab's looking, early Fab, right? Sergeant Pepper is a twinkle in somebody's eye in 1963. Till there was you, Paul, right? We love Paul. And so there's articles, each Fab, letters from Beatle people. Look at that. And you know what's wild is they actually give the addresses out, right? So there's yours truly, Sue, Pauline, and Beatles fans from Lytham, Lancashire. There's somebody from Mitcham in Surrey, England, Liverpool, from the original Beatlettes, Liverpool. So really cool, And as years go by, of course, they get emails or not emails, snail mail. Email was not invented in 1963, but it's all there. And here's a little bit from a young Neil Aspinall. Look at that. Their road manager, Neil Aspinall. And Neil ended up, of course, becoming very important to the Beatles empire. So here you go. Look at that. Beatles number 5. Frank, I love you, man. This is one of my big Beatles people. This man has been so kind to me, so generous. I consider him a very good friend. And, from the home of the Louisville Slugger, Louisville, Kentucky, it's Mr. Sticker Mania. If you want to buy these kind of things, I'm not offering them to Frank, but if you want these, you go see Frank, Mr. Sticker Mania. He's got everything. He's got everything that'll make any true Beatles fans heart palpitate. But these are in generally really, really good condition. Aren't they great? And the fact that they're colorful, and I love the font on them. Hello. Look at this, number 12. I mean, we're very early on. Hang on, there we go. July 1964, the height of Beatlemania, right? The Beatles book, number 12. But they're all in really great shape. And just, what a thing to own, right? For a Beatles fan. And of course, like I say, I used to own these. So these really were the big find of 2025 for me to get these back in my collection. So there you go. How many you got? I got 12 of these. I got 12 in all. Okay, so like I say, we're all going to be relaxed here because this is going to take a while to get through this. Yeah, Louisville born. Are you kidding me? Grateful Dogs, Louisville born. Represent, Slugger. I paid $125 for 12 magazines, which I felt was a very fair price on those. Yeah, I've seen it going even higher. Some people are selling, eBay, they can overprice sometimes. I think there was one for $400 on eBay. But the earliest I go with this set that I bought was number 3, which ain't too bad. If you're in October 1963, Beatlemania is not a thing in America in October 63. Question number 2. Show an artist, a band on the Apple label other than the Beatles or the solo Beatles. Whenever possible, show the label for what you're going to show. Well, I mean, nobody could go anywhere. 1969, 68, 69? It's going to be in there. And this is one of the original Apple label, the single of Those Were the Days. You could not turn on a radio in I want to say 68. Give me the year on this, everybody. Mary Hopkins, she married Tony Visconti years later. A shy Welsh girl. Her father was very worried about her getting involved with all those rock and rollers. But there's the lovely Mary Hopkins. She had the big hit with Those Were the Days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. And we kind of thought that in 1969, 70, 68. We were going to be young forever and no one would ever die. And sadly, that didn't turn out to be the case, as our mortality is forever shining its light in our faces. And so show the label. Yeah, unfortunately, in my case here with this one, this label is damaged. Look at that. It's got a little tear on the side, but it is a first press. And I didn't look to see if this is a UK or if it's a published in Canada thing or where this one came from. I do have it on Discogs. I put all my Beatles on Discogs. Anyway, let's put it back. So Mary Hopkins, And of course, you know, Badfinger, I met Joey Mullen from Badfinger. They could have been a choice. My God, I have got one of those. Really, I got to swap this because this is one of those Japanese inner sleeves. I don't like them because they crinkle too much. They crinkle. And this is not a Japanese pressing. If you want to see Japanese pressings, boy, oh boy, check Brian's Beatles tag out. Tokyo Record Style, he did a great job. All right. So there's a non-Beatle artist on the Apple label, 1968. Of course, they start that. Okay, and let's take a look at a great quote. This is from our friend Harry, who's another big Beatles guy, man. This guy's got an incredible Beatles collection himself. Bob Weir said, "Death is the final gift of having lived." Something like it. Yeah, Bob Weir, right? We just lost him. 1969 is your year, Rach. I almost showed that one myself. Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah, 1969. Apple label starts in 68. But that record being one of the first releases coming out in 1969. So this is Mark. And again, we owe the credit, the thanks to Mark for doing all this stuff. This is our good friend, Mark Anthony Kay, Project Gemini, musician at large, producer, engineer extraordinary, does it all. I was going through my 7-inch singles, discovered I had 4 Badfinger singles, 1 Mary Hopkins single on Apple. Mark Anthony Kay from Project Gemini. All right, man. Yeah, that's great. Those were the days. Would have been number 1 on the charts if the single was not released at the same time as Hey Jude. Hey Jude, man. Oh man, Frank, I just missed out on a Canadian first press with the picture sleeve, the gloss finish black label in green, Apple, Hey Jude, backed by Revolution. And but I missed out getting it. I had it in my sights. I put the bid in, but it went out. Uwe, welcome aboard for Mark Morris's excellent Beatles tag. And we're early on. We're going to settle in, grab a coffee, a beer, whatever you like, a libation. Smoke them if you got them. Number 3, a Beatles lyric. Show albums plural, that have a song with a lyric that, I see why. It's a 2-parter. Show 2 albums, right? That have a song with lyrics, which you particularly like, and B, a lyric that makes you cringe. Encourage you once again to watch Brian's response on this. His answer was really good on that. He went to Lennon's solo career for his answer. But for me, I'm going to go, and just because it's an excuse to show it, I'm going to show the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. This is, of course, the vaunted, much desired Horzu German label Magical Mystery Tour, plus other songs. And so this is a German release of Magical Mystery Tour. Of course, in the United Kingdom, it came out as, I got it all, kids. I got it all. It came out either in stereo or mono, like this, as an extended play. And Brian struggles with the concept extended play, but there you go. That's how they got it. Over in North America, it's the familiar yellow cover that we have, but our German friends got it like this. But it still came out on an Apple label, and there you go. But you can see it says Horzu there in the top left there, Horzu. Anyway, so the song in question is Strawberry Fields Forever. I'm going to grab a lyric from there. Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard to be someone, but it's all right. So I love John's lyrics in Strawberry Fields Forever. Their stream of consciousness, which John was experimenting, probably helped by some herbal therapy. And but I just love the Strawberry Fields Forever is probably my favorite Beatles song. Push comes to shove. I just love it. And in 1969, the song Goodbye was released much later than Hey Jude. Yeah, Goodbye did come out later. I love that song when it came on the radio. It was such a happy song. But for me, lyrically, I think Strawberry Fields Forever, and I've been there. I paid the pilgrimage. I went over to Liverpool and I went to Strawberry Fields and took a picture of myself and Sue and family, our son, outside the gates at Strawberry Fields. So the old orphanage in Liverpool. So there you go. A great lyric is that a song lyric that makes you cringe. nothing the Beatles do. Even the song Good Night by John Lennon, it's more the delivery than the lyrical content that makes me cringe. She was just 17. You know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. None of that bothers me. A woman is the quote N word of the world. John's solo career, that doesn't bother me. None of these lyrics, cringe me out, right? It's just music. It's stuff, right? And so I don't take it too seriously, but there can be some profundity in the lyrical content. And again, I point you to Brian's video. He talks about some profound lyrics in his case. Okay, let's get back to Mark and see what else he has. Display a book or books that you'd recommend to other Beatles fans. And you're only allowed to show 3. We put a cap on it. My number 1, I don't own currently, but it used to be in my collection. I talk about it every time. It's The Longest Cocktail Party by Richard Diallo. His job title was The House Hippie at number 3, Savile Row, where Apple headquarters was, London. I've been there. I made the pilgrimage to number 3 Savile. And the rooftop concert, of course, they built a studio in there with the help of Magic Alex, or the hindrance of Magic Alex, maybe. But Richard Diallo's Longest Cocktail Party is a bird's eye view. It's not even a bird's eye, it's a fly on the wall view of the madness that was going on with Apple Corps around the time they were signing Mary Hopkin. And he talks about Mary Hopkin and how her father was, very worried about Mary being involved with all these crazy rock and rollers, the Beatles. And he talks about celebrities that would come in and visit the Beatles. And it's just a very intimate look at it all. Hey, Bill Krenner, welcome to the Beatles Tag, my response to it. So again, we want to thank Mark for getting this thing going. So first book, I can't show you. Second book, okay. I got so many. But I'm going to show this one. This is one that David Donnelly has in hard copy. Our good friend David Donnelly has a hardback. This is paperback. The recording sessions, okay? The official story of the Abbey Road years, 1962 to 70. Introductory interview with Paul. But it's basically who was doing what did they use, what instrument, who was on the deck, who sang lead, who did backup. It's all the ins and outs. Take 4, which take did they use? It's a detailed look at all the songs that we know in the Beatles discography at Abbey Road. So the Beatles recording sessions, the complete Beatles, EMI, there's Sex Pistols for David Donnelly. Anyway, it's a great book and I recommend it. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to go because we're only allowed 3, but I'm going to echo Brian. Brian showed this one. I'm going to show it to you. This is Norman Maslow. I got the fake Mazzy autograph. David Bacon, his co-writer of this book, I'd signed off on a bunch of these. There's David, and there's Mazzy, but it's not Mazzy. That's he's playing Mal Evans or Neil Aspinall. Derek Taylor signing Beatles, pretending he's doing the autographs. But there you go. And our host of everything, the Beatles Tag, Mark, goes, I bought that book on your recommendation, Rach, and it is excellent. Yeah, it really is. For a hardcore Beatles fan, you want to check that out. But this is really a sightseeing book. You want to go to London, you want to go to Liverpool like I did. Well, Mazzy did it. So you want to know where the Beatles went? Oh, where did they shoot that video? Or what happened over here, right? And where did Beatlemania start? Where's Litherland? Where's the Palladium in London? Where's EMI headquarters? Right? Oh, so that's where they shot that. This building is no longer extant. It does not exist with those windows where the FABs were. So that's gone into history. Thank goodness. Before it was destroyed, Norman Maslow and David Bacon went and chronicled all that. So yeah, that's our friend Mazzy. You got to Mazzy. Come on, legend. So get that book. And there's a few. You can get them on eBay. It's long out of print. Mazzy keeps talking about doing a different one. Wow, new camera, Rach. Looks amazing. It's a Sony A6400 with a bokeh. Brian taught me how to say it. It's a bokeh background, all blurred. But yeah, it's it gives me a nice picture, I think. Okay, let's move on. Uh, okay. Oh, the anthology controversy. That's a good one. I love this question because it really was controversial. Did you buy the 2025 anthology box set in any form? Discuss your decision. My decision was not to buy the record. I thought it was overpriced, even though you get 3 records per album. I already have the records from 1995. These are outtakes. These are demos. They were never meant for prime time. And so to get a polished 2026 iteration of these songs was not critical to me. Many of the songs that were released already appear on the box sets, and I got them just out of camera's view in my record collection on the White Album, on Sergeant Pepper's. What else did we get? Let It Be. So we've got these songs already in the White Album, the Esher tapes. We've got all these songs. So there's not much new here. There's not much new with the new iteration, right? Um, so I kind of was thinking maybe I'll get the box. I might get the box, but even then, I do a lot of my music streaming lately. I've got a beautiful Super Nate DX5, which is a high end streaming unit for listening to high res audio files. So I've got the album all there on my phone, so to speak. However, I had to have at least one hard copy, and so what I reconciled to doing now, it actually gets there is a bit of a detour here. My friend Frank, Mr. Stickermania, I did a deal. We wheeled and dealed, and I sold him a bunch of Rolling Stones tall boxes, long boxes, fine of a lifetime for me. This is nothing for Frank. He gets stuff like this all the time, but it's a big deal to me. Frank kindly gave me a great offer, bought them. He said, "You know what, Rich, I'm going to throw in the Beatles anthology box set for you." I said, "Okay, sounds like a deal." But I sold, I traded. Well, no, I sold it. I sold my Beatles box set to Pretty Green Vinyl Guy. And so he's got it. But what I did do is I did turn around and I did buy Anthology for just the double CD. So there it is, Anthology 4 to go with my CD collection, 1, 2, and 3. Plus, I've got 1, 2, and 3, the originals on vinyl. And who knows, maybe at some point in the future, I might just go out and buy Anthology 4 vinyl. Oh, hold on. We got trouble. I'm not leaving because of the Beatles talk, because I don't feel safe with Harry. And they got, what's going on? Come on, man. You're a rock star. You got to be able to handle a disgruntled fan base. Anything's possible, Angelo. So that's what I did for Anthology. I just went in for the double CD. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Happy to have it, right? Got to have something. Okay. Name a solo Beatles song that you would have liked to have seen gotten a full Beatles treatment. All 4 Beatles working together to build up the song. Show the album which song is featured. I can do that. So my favorite, this is the most commercial probably. The most commercial, John's my favorite Beatle. This is Mind Games. This is the reissue that they recently did a couple of years ago. There's postcards. There's all sorts of goodies this came with, right? The ultimate mix. And I've got this in different flavors. I'm a big John Lennon fan, so I have about 4 different copies of this album, but I'm just showing this one because. Pardon the pun, because you Beatles fans know what I mean. So Mind Games is a song, right? I have always loved the lyric at the end of the speaking of lyrics where it goes, I want you to make love, not war. I know you've heard it before. I love it when he says that, because when he goes, I know you've heard it before, it turns something that could be very trite, just a truism, a little saying that could become cliched so quickly. I think that Mind Games with John, Paul, George, and Ringo working on that song would have been really something. It would have been quite different than what we got. I still love how John did it. And any way, any form, Mind Games is just a wonderful, wonderful song. But this is probably John's most accessible and most commercial album, even including Walls and Bridges. I just think there's something about Mind Games that's readily accessible to the wider audience. Because John, if you remember in the documentary, Imagine, the guy's out on the street and he's hungry, oh, you hungry, and he comes up to John's door and he starts talking to John, and he says, "Well, when you did this song, you're talking to me, and I know you're sending message to me, and really, I related to it." And John goes to the guy, goes, I didn't write it for you. I wrote it for me, for Yoko. If you get something out of it, great, wonderful. But that's not why I did it, right? That's not how I did it. Speaking of great channels, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not subscribed to this cat, Scotty, we love you. The Prague Corner, man. This guy is probably the number one Prague channel. What was the Vinyl Nerd, the Vinyl Nerd, notwithstanding. Anyway, let's see. I want to get some of these, lines, comments here. I just think of the heights this channel could have reached if Rach had this good of a camera. I know, Joe.
Does he mean like 5 years ago?
Like 5 years ago? Starting out? I'm just so young. Anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful. I love this setup. I like the picture. 40, I apologize, Mr. 40, man. I love this guy. He's a good guy. Rachel, talking Beatles for a change. What a refreshing change of pace. Thank you, Rex. Thank you. I know I'm usually into my hardcore. All right. So that's my one for John. And I want to do each of the Fabs. Also, this Ringo album, this is as nearest as post-Beatles everybody got together. John, Paul, George, and Ringo do appear here, but separately. I had to laugh when Brian was working through this. He's looking at the song "I'm the Greatest." He goes, "That's actually good." And then he discovers, kind of when he's in the notes here, there's a booklet that comes with this, and he goes, "I'm reading the little notes, and John wrote it." And indeed, he did. That's a John Lennon song, "I'm the Greatest." But off here, the one I would like, it's a song co-penned by George Harrison. Ringo and George wrote beautiful music together. They done a lot of good stuff together. It don't come easy. Come on, man. But the one off here that all four I would have loved to have seen do is Photograph. What a beautiful, powerful, rhythmic, melodic, punchy bit of pop goodness. All I got is a photograph, right? That thing was a huge hit in 1974. It comes off this album. I would have loved to have seen John, Paul, George, and Ringo take their kicks at that one. I think it was a great song, and I think the Beatles would have owned it, and it would have been just as big. I believe Ringo went to number one with it, number one with a bullet, as the young people say. Now, this next one, all the Beatles could have done. And it's kind of funny because Mazzy is not really big on this album. But for me, this is my Paul album. This is my Paul McCartney album, 1973. You Beatle fans already should know where I'm going with this. What? Red Rose Speedway? No. Band on the Run. Come on, man. And of course, it's got all the celebrities on there. I think, where is he? Well, Chris Lee, Dracula. That's Sigmund Freud's nephew. Or grandson, the grandson of Sigmund Freud. And then, we got James Coburn up there, the legend. And I think this guy was a boxer of some sort, Denny Lane, and Linda, the lovely Linda, and Paul. But Band on the Run. And the song I choose, Mimonia. No, not Mimonia. Mazzy gets mad at Mimonia. He doesn't like the song, but I like to hear it when it goes, "The next time UCLA, rain clouds. Don't complain. It don't complain. It rains for you and me." But Band on the Run, the title song, I would have loved to have seen the Beatles take on as the band. I think Jet would have been fun for the Beatles to do too. Band on the Run, Jet. I think either of those the Beatles could handle, but this is just a star album. No one ever left alive in 1985 will ever do. You may be right, you may be fine, you may get love, but you won't get mine. Come on, man. Rock and roll, Paul McCartney. The next one, I'm going to show the same thing Brian did, but I'm going to show the full album. And I agree with him. When We Was Fab off of George Harrison's comeback album, Cloud Nine. Great, great album. It's on a Dark Horse label. But When We Was Fab. And of course, Ringo appears in the video. And but wouldn't it be great to have all the Fabs on there doing the song When We Was Fab? Because each one of them collectively are the four Fabs. And so they could have pulled it off with real style, real grace. Go ahead, Sue. Okay. Am I on partial screen? Oh, I don't know. I think if the camera may just do that because of how it operates. So I think it's more of a limitation of the phone of this particular camera. All right. Anyway, Denny Lane is completely drunk on the cover and ready to collapse to the ground. What a trivia note. Frank, that's amazing. So Denny was just hammered when they did the cover shoot for Band on the Run. Yeah, okay. Hearing the Beatles do Hi 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 would be peak. Yeah, great. Of course, great single for Paul. Going to throw you on the bed, going to get you ready for my body gun. Holy smokes, Paul McCartney. Paul getting a little ribaldorous. Yeah, Randy Paul. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's do if you have one, show a Beatles picture disc. Are you a fan of picture discs? Yeah or nay? I'm not a fan of picture discs. I don't like them because musically, I don't like them. I think if you're going to get it to hang on the wall as an artistic statement to emphasize your passion for music, then fine. But I don't really believe picture discs are meant to be played. I never play mine. I'll say that much. I have one picture disc in my collection, and it was a gift, and so I'm grateful for it as a gift. But it's not one I would have ever sought out picture disc at all. If you don't have a picture disc, show colored vinyl. And of course, I can do probably one of the biggest colored vinyl. Is this a great little Christmas set? Let's do this here to start off. This is the Beatles. Happy Christmas, Beatles people. And it's all the Beatles. If you can get this box set, I don't know if it's in print anymore or pressing, out of press, but it comes with a lovely box. Remember, I told you, just settle in. We're taking the scenic route on this, right? Just enjoy. But it comes with a nice little book. The Beatle people. Hello, Beatle people. Here we are. So it's like those Beatle books I showed you. But in here, you get a number of cool Beatle discs. They started getting a little, I think we're getting a little high here by the time we do this. My favorite of these covers, hang on, come on, pop out. I love this cover just because the Beatles are at work in it. We can work it out. All right. This is my favorite. All right. The Beatles fan club, just like the books I showed you, right? I'm going, Beatles book, Beatles fan club, right? It's got the same vibe because it comes from the same source. But in these things, they came out in beautiful colored vinyl. So each one's a different color: red, green, blue, yellow, all different colors. So it's the Beatles. Happy Christmas, Beatle people. The Beatles Christmas records. Originally on floppy disks, they were just, this little floppy thing. Frank's got originals of these. Talk to Frank, man. Sticker Mania. He's my guy. And he should be your guy, too. We love Frank. All right. Okay. Let's keep moving on. So more colored vinyl. I got this little bootleg. This was gifted to me by Aaron Mutha Elamar. I haven't talked to Aaron for some time. Aaron probably doesn't even know I'm around making videos. It came in like this with a sleeve, but if you pull this little, it's just of interest really to hardcore Beatle people, but it comes in gorgeous blue. Isn't that Toronto Maple Leaf blue? Blue Jay blue. Anyway, there you go. The Beatles, there was a double album. The other one comes on blue as well, lighter blue. And then, we were talking picture disc. Harry of Harry's Music Room has got about 3 of these albums. The real deal. He's got the real deal. I'm a pretender with just my little picture disc thing. But there it is, the infamous Butcher album, Beatles Yesterday and Today, 1966. And again, I got to reference Mr. Stickermania. You want the real thing? Head over to Mr. Stickermania on eBay. Just go Mr. Stickermania, eBay. You're going to run into Frank very quickly. And he has a number of Butcher albums, and he'll tell you anything you ever wanted to know about this album. He knows everything about it, certainly a lot more than I know about it. Okay, I kind of know what the next question is. Show your favorite Beatles comp. I love the red and blue. You know, I could have showed Alpha and Omega as well, but this is my entry level. 1973. These came out, the originals. These are reissues from 2016. Get the 2016. I don't prefer the latest release of these, where you get 3 records in each, over the 2 record set. The 2 record set is superior because it tells a story from 67 to 70 and 62 to 66. And don't let anybody sell you short on this red album. It's got the earliest Beatles songs, but it also goes up to including Rubber Soul on here. So it's got Rubber Soul, and dare I say, it's got some, very likely, it might have a Revolver song or two on there. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But 66, certainly it's got Help and Rubber Soul tunes on it. Michelle, Girl, 8 days a week, this sort of thing is on there. 8 days a week, Beatles for Sale. But, it's got it. And so these two, I think, are the best comps still that you're going to get of the Beatles. And if you don't allow me to do, cheat my way that way, then you can do no worse than the Beatles mono masters, or no better, I guess. No better. Hard Day's Rut. The Beatles mono master, 3 record set, and you get a lot, right? Love Me Do, Wanka. Original single version, For Me to You. Bad Boy, yes it is. I'm Down, Day Tripper, Lady Madonna. Hey Bulldog, anything with Hey Bulldog's got to be good to go. So that's a nice comp, the Mono Masters, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. Because now I do need Frank for this, because I see what album I've got, but is that what I wanted? Okay. Oh, yeah. The question on that comp, by the way, Mark put it this way: for some reason, you're condemned to listen to one Beatles comp only for the rest of your days. What do you choose? So those are the ones I choose. If I had one, either the red or the blue, and if I can't have both, then I'd go with the Past Masters. Kind of covers both periods, right? Do you feel there is an underrated Beatles song? If so, show the album which it appears and explain why you feel it's underrated. Yeah, I always felt that the song Long, Long, Long by George Harrison, probably because the song Long, 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 this is a 1968 UK first pressing, top loading stereo with all the fixins inside the pictures, the poster. And for the hardcore amongst you, your number is 0591 460. The Beatles are boss. And so this is a real deal. I got this from PB Thel, our good friend PB Thel, and I want to thank PB Thel for it. But there you go, the back half of the apple. But Long, 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 I think it's such a great song. And ironically, Long, Long, Long is short, short, short. Okay, it's not a long song at all. It's the one they had a beer bottle or something on top of an amplifier, and at the end you hear that, and there's some moaning and growing going on, but it's such a sweet melodic piece of music. I just love it. George Harrison composed song, and George is got to be the most underrated of the Beatles. Maybe Ringo. John and Paul get all the accolades, but George is certainly there. And our good friend Simon joins us. Simon, thanks for putting up with a Beatles-themed live stream. Nice webcam, Rach. Thank you so much. It's actually an A6400, not meant for streaming, but I've converted it. And over the last few days, Sue helped me. Sue really was the guiding force on it. So I want to thank Sue for all her hard work doing that thing. Yeah, okay, I love this comment. Long, Long, Long is one of the greatest songs. So I've always loved it. It's a wine bottle. Okay, I said beer bottle. It's a wine bottle. Beatle Babe, I've forgotten so much of my Beatle trivia over the years, but I know it's a bottle on top, right? That's the thing I kind of remember, that there was a bottle and it rattles a bit. And it's a nice touch. Serendipity, right? Part of the Beatles' magic. All right, so Long, 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 underrated. If you have one, okay, we did that. Beatles singles. Show a 45 with a cool picture sleeve, or a picture sleeve from a country other than where you reside. Okay. So I was mentioning all about my picture sleeve odyssey. I got a bunch down here.
Frank sold the white for 500. Frank, he sold that white for 500.
That white album? He sold that white album, 68 stereo. That's a stereo.
Yeah.
68 stereo iteration of that. So my first purchase of January 2026, my first record of the year. You got to see it, kids. It is a 45. This is a 1964 U.S. first pressing of "I'm Happy Just to Dance with You and I'll Cry Instead." And I paid $50 for this thing. So the Beatles, "I'm Happy Just to Dance with You, I'll Cry Instead," on the Capitol label, and it's in great. I hesitate even to open it up, but it is in great shape. And there's the record itself. Look at that. Look at that. It's clean, kids. And so it comes like that, and the sleeve's in great shape. But I mean, it's a classic image. They use this picture over and over and over and over. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Beatles, "Happy Just to Dance with You." And I can't, so I'll cry instead. That's a cool picture disc. And then the question was, well, can you show one from another country? And I do have a picture disc from another country. I'm going. And in tribute to Brian, I showed this one before, but I can do EPs from other countries. They focus up. Japanese, here you go, folks. I have to look at it, see what it is. Obladi Oblada. They threw this cover for Obladi Oblada. Of course, this is around Sergeant Pepper, Penny Lane photo shoot time, right, with the costuming. But yeah, Obladi Oblada. And I like putting the yellow things in because those fillers in North America, so nostalgic for me. I had drawers for them as a kid, teenager. We had all those inserts. So really nice to have. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A Japanese picture sleeve. You know, probably one of the most rare 45s I had was gifted to me by Angelo Kelly. And it's the legendary Angelo Kelly. And it's an Irish 45, pressed in Ireland. I didn't even know Ireland had their own record plant, but apparently they did. Okay, and well, I don't. It's all It's all to say. All right, let's go. Okay, show Beatles 45. Cool picture. Okay. Bonus and alt questions. Well, we're here. We're settled in. I hope you're enjoying your drinks or your libations or whatever you got. If you feel like answering more questions, and I do, Mark, I feel like answering more of your questions. Try these on. Or if there is a question above you can't answer, can't answer, or don't want to answer, switch it out with one of the questions below. Show a favorite Beatle record on the Capitol label. Sure. Favorite Beatle record. I love this one. And it means a lot to me because I love the cover on it, right? And, if you want to remember the Ed Sullivan Show and all the magic, there it is, right? This is such an interesting story on Something New, the Beatles. This is Capitol's version of the album A Hard Day's Night, the American version of A Hard Day's Night. The Beatles story, when it comes to vinyl, is very, very complicated. But I've always loved the picture on this. And it's got, things we said. Well, there you can read. Come give mir dein Hand and Sie lieb dich, right? It's got the what do they call that? The German language thing with Komm gib mir dein Hand, right? Holy smokes. So the German language, right? Throw back to the Beatles Hamburg days. But this is how I collected them. And the funny thing is about this gold and orange Capitol label, this is the 70s, boys and girls, but it's the early 70s up to around 1974 or so. Then Capitol swapped out. But there's actually different iterations of this orange Capitol. So just because it's orange with the gold label, you got to look at the writing surrounding the label. So some was in gold, some was in black. So there's variations on the theme, right? So Something New, the Beatles on Capitol label. And then, of course, later on in the 80s, they reintroduced the rainbow label again. But this is how it originally came out on the rainbow label in the 60s. This is the reintroduction, the recent reissue one that I came in the box set that our good friend Johnny L owns. But there you go on the rainbow. That's how it appeared. But for me, for nostalgia, it'll always be the gold label, the orange label with the gold writing. Okay, more bonus questions. I hope you're not getting Beatle fatigue. It would be a sad thing if you did. Okay, is there a solo Beatles song that you feel is as good or better than any Beatles song? If so, show the record on it and talk about it. Yeah, okay. Well, while I don't agree with the sentiment expressed in the song, because I'm a Christian person, right? That's my belief system. So I like Jesus, right? So God is a concept. Come on, John, do better. Even George Harrison said, I was going straight to God and John was moving far away from God. And so we had nothing in common during this period of time, 1971 period, where George was really spiritually hungering and John was kind of turning his back and deconstructing everything. But his great anthemic, Imagine, whether you like the sentiment or not, it's kind of a commie anthem, but it's a great song and you got to like it. So Imagine, John Lennon. I think it's just such a great anthemic song. And it's another one I'd love to have seen all four boys get in it and do the song. But that is one of the great songs of all time. Say what you will, right? Like it or lump it, boys and girls. And then the other one, because it's kind of the contrast to it, and with apologies to the Shirelles, he's so fine. But George Harrison's All Things Must Cast, this is a first pressing Canadian in really nice shape. The box isn't super duper, but the records inside are minty clean. And it's My Sweet Lord. And I really think that it was just nonsensical that they go, My Sweet Buddha, Buddha Shasha and all this stuff, where he's all doing his Hare Krishna stuff. He's so fine. Oh, yeah, gonna make it night. Oh, yeah, come on, sooner or later. That has nothing to do with My Sweet Lord, right? Do, 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 do. That slide guitar, come on, man. So My Sweet Lord is my pick. I think that's fantastic off of this album. And for Ringo, sadly, currently, I don't have the 45 for this, but I love, love, love the song. It's another George Harrison, Ringo Starr composition. Got to pay dues if you want to sing the blues. And it don't come easy, released as a single, but appears on this greatest hits. 1975, Blast from Your Past, Ringo Starr. Look at him. Double five. No, 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 no. We can't take it no more. And on the Red Apple label. So I just love the song. It Don't Come Easy. George Harrison's guitar on that. Oh my God, what a song. And I always remember Geraldo Rivera back when he was cool. He's not cool at all, but he was cool once upon a time. And he's walking in LA along the streets there with graffiti on the boards, and he's just trucking, kind of like the little comedy intro I do at the beginning of my show. But rather than going for a comedic take, because he has Ringo's song there, it just echoed coolness, supreme cool. Geraldo with long hair, he's a young guy, and he's just strutting, just trucking, just strutting, and got to pay dues if you want to sing the blues. You know it don't come easy. Ringo Starr, that's absolutely incredible song. And not to be forgotten, this song, I just absolutely love this song. This is one of the great songs of all time, one of the great love songs of all time, but it's a great rocking love song. And it's the incredible, Maybe I'm Amazed. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I love you. First Canadian pressing, this one here, this particular copy. And man, this is such a great album. I think it's one of Paul's most underrated albums on some sense. They're half finished songs, like things like Junk are on here, but it's such a great sounding album. It's just Paul playing everything by himself. It's the first of the McCartney albums, but Maybe I'm Amazed at the Way I Feel About You. And he wrote it for Linda. And of course, he had a hit again with it in 1976, Wings Over America. And that version. I think that went to number 1. Let me know, kids. But you can't be Rongo if it's Ringo. Maybe I'm amazed. All right, maybe I'm amazed that I'm still going on talking about the Beatles, but I could go all day talk about these guys. Mark, this is a great thread. I do appreciate you putting it together for it this year. Hey, do you have any Beatles EPs? If so, show 1 or 2 of them. Sure. Let me move the keyboard up here and let me replace it. Oh my God. Am I strong enough to lift this? Hang on. I'm just a girl. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. Yeah. I put on my picture sleeves and let's go here. Let me look. I got to look at myself. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Here's one I picked up. Paper. This is an EP, but look at this paperback writer, Rain, the Beatles, the Word Nowhere Man. Look at that picture, right? May look a little different. It's on the Odeon label. And this, I believe it's BM. It's a BM. So I think this is a German pressing. It's either Dutch or German. Let me know. I think I don't put my 45s on Discogs or my EPs, but there's an EP. These are from most of these EPs are from the 1980, 82 box set that I bought. I think I bought this off Norman, off Maslow, the legend that is Norman Maslow. I never liked these, oh, here's spring, summer, fall, Vivaldi. It's all been done. All me loving wankers. Beatles Yesterday. A French EP. Holy smokes. Yeah, what have we got here? Oh, Imagine from Brian in Japanese. Thank you, Brian, again. Yoko, I got even Yoko. Oh, look at this. Yeah, here's the 45 version of Photograph. Look at the ring wear on that. I go and protect mine after the fact, but sometimes it's late to the party. Not Beatles, but it's David Donnelly. So David goes in here with all the picture discs. Baby It's You in mono. Nice. And we were talking about this one on the show just yesterday. Real Love. Real Love. Fantastic. But we're talking EPs. I think I have Angelo's here. Yeah, I do. Yeah, here it is. This is the, whoops, hang on. Don't want to lose that up. Okay. Hang on, kids. Let me entertain you. Let me hold it. Okay. Can you, yeah, look at the bottom of that. Made in Ireland. Made in Ireland. And the songs are Eleanor Rigby backed with Yellow Submarine. So there you go. And I guess I better show my favorite. Oh, yeah, look at this one. Beatles with the Obi. I think Brian gifted me that one too. I had this poster as a kid.
Can we check comments for a sec?
I had this poster. I just want to show this Beatles. So number 2. Okay, my producer says, don't get lost in all the records. Talk to the children. Hang on, kids. I'll be right there.
April from Mad Paranormal's here saying hi and happy new year.
Mad Paranormal, April, we love you. Happy New Year. We're doing a Beatles thing. There she is.
Paul says he's got a Call Me Beatles record.
Paul, have you got a Call Me Beatles record? You lucky son of a gun. Happy New Year, Banbury. Rachel, Happy New Year in community. Hope everyone's doing well. Wish each and all 2026 sending love to you and Rach and everyone else. Damo, April. Thank you. We love you guys. Okay, so next question.
Oh, and thank them for the shout out.
Thank you for the shout out over the holidays. That was so sweet. David brought it to my attention. I want to thank you all. You're a great bunch. I'd love to have you on the show sometime just to do a paranormal adventure special. It'd be kind of fun. Okay. Is there a particular Beatles song or album that brings you back to a specific strong memory? If so, feel free to share. If not, relate a time when you first realized you were becoming a Beatles fan. I realized I was a Beatles fan the first time I ever heard them. I went over to friend's place. I would have been like 6 years old, and they had Beatles. There were these older teen girls or pre-teen girls. Maybe they're 12. I'm like 4, 5 years old, and they had all these little 45s spread all over the floor with a little record player, and they were dancing and she loves you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I just thought this is the greatest thing. It was a happening. It was a happening, you see. And because it was a happening, I got all involved. I got all excited. I had so much fun. I was so upbeat and so much fun. So yeah, that was the deal. The other memory, so that's when I became a Beatles fan. And then I became hardcore and I became a Beatle maniac in 1973. Puberty's hitting, trying to get laid, trying to get drunk, trying to live, trying to grow up. And the Red album came in 62, 66, followed by the Blue, but it was the Red first. And I just played it over and over and over and over and over. And I was just addicted. I just love it. Just the Beatles are my thing, man. They're my jam. And they're the reason I have these beautifully bokeh blurred guitars sitting all over in the background there. So 1966, a few years before this album comes out in 1968, this is a reiteration, 1999 iteration of it. But Yellow Submarine, the song is on Revolver, of course, at the tail end of Revolver. And we all live in a yellow submarine. So I'm in the basement. We lived in a duplex. I'm in the basement looking through my kitchen window. I still remember the memory, strong memory, and little feet, little legs, children's legs. I'm 8 years old at the time, but little 4 and 5 year old legs are going by my window. Marching by my window, going, "We all live in a yellow submarine." And these little kids, I'm going, "There, you're walking through my house. You're walking through my yard. What are you doing in my yard? And you're annoying me with this. I didn't even know it was the Beatles. I honest to God, I had no idea it was the Beatles. It was it. We all live in a yellow, the little kids, being kids, right? But it annoyed me. Something in their childlike intonations was so annoying. I just went, "Oh my God, stop it." I was 8 years old. Listen, it's kind of how people are feeling about me going on with the Beatles in this tag. Anyway, there's that. All right, let's see what else we got. What else do we got? Shout out some of your favorite Beatles vinyl channels. Some of my favorite, off the cuff, Joe Mayo, Mean Mr. Mayo, lives on the tube. He's fantastic. Him and his partner, Danny, his partner in crime, Danny. And but yeah, he's incredible. Frank, I've mentioned a lot, Mr. Sticker Mania. This cat right here, not Fluffy. Fluffy, I love you, but no, not you. Where's Sticker Mania? Fluffy, where's Sticker Mania? Oh my God, there he is. She loves you. Yeah, this guy here is one of the great. He does auctioning. He does, if you want to buy Beatles records and Beatles memorabilia and the hard to find stuff, that's your guy. Yeah, that's your guy right there. Beatley Tone has been a real good friend to our show here, to the channel. We love him. He's a great Beatle channel. Beatle Dave in the UK. Beatle Vinyl 85. What was his? I forget his first name. I want to say it's like Marvin or Marv, something like Merv Griffin. Anyway, he's a sweet guy. I like him. Matthew Street is incredible. Larry Graves, even though Larry's not strictly Beatles, but he was one of the big Beatle channels. Mark Morris covers a lot of Beatles content. He's great. Who am I missing for Beatles? Remind me, but Gabby, our friend Gabby, our newfound friend Gabby on Instagram. She's got a Beatles collection second to nobody. Absolutely incredible. Your collection's really nice, Rich. You could show for we haven't even touched anything yet. But it's there. I do have the Russian McCartney album. Yes, I've got that one. But but it's great. The one band I really do collect are the Beatles. I don't say I'm a Beatles. I don't say I'm a record collector, even though I have multiple Yes album copies. Various from that band. I have multiple Led Zeppelin copies of that band, but I don't collect them. I don't go out of my way to collect them. I've got them. I've got everything they did, both bands, Yes, and pretty much everything, is that. Certainly the main catalog, I got it all. Up to a certain point with Yes. And Zapp, I got everything up until, when Bonham goes. So, yeah. And then I also want to do a shout out for 4D, who gave me these early at the end of 2025, these came in. These are Dutch magazines with great articles, photos of the Beatles in English. And there's actually 3 magazines. This was all done on 4D's dime to get these to me. I just want to say thank you. Look at these. That's a rare picture and a half, I would argue. I don't see that one much. This one we see a lot of, but they're really, they aren't cheap magazines. They're on high grade paper, and it's very, very extremely thoughtful of 4D to get Furor, Mein Führer. Oh my God, don't get me in more trouble with Loki and Chauncey and the kids. But anyway, great magazines, great articles in them. Ladies and gentlemen, the channel is Mark Morris. Mark Morris. I've got a link to it. Please do the Beatle tag. Let's get more Beatle people in. And for us Beatle people, it was always fun to see more gear. I hope you enjoyed the new look camera. You're going to be seeing a lot more of it. It's going to be my main camera here on out. Thanks for the video. Give it a like and a thumbs up. Not for me, but for Mark. And you don't need to subscribe to me, but certainly subscribe to Mark Morris. Please support his channel. Thanks, everybody. And all the Beatle channels that I may have failed to mention here, my huge apologies to you all. And Richard Dolan, I got to go get you out of jail. Somehow you ended up in the block list. You behave yourself, Richard, and we'll get you back ASAP. I'll make sure I do that right after the show. Take care, everybody. Bye for